not about eliminating liabilities, because a lot of times liabilities lead to assets. It's about managing them. So let's say that you had a piece of real estate that you could buy, maybe as a real estate investor, or maybe just as your physical location where you office, and you knew that it was really worth $500,000. But because of the person's circumstance, it would be $300,000 that they would let it go for. Maybe it's a short sale, maybe it's in foreclosure, maybe they just need to get rid of it, and they don't know what it's worth, whatever that might be. Now, the world out there is going to tell you that $300,000 is debt if you borrow. They'll tell you that's debt. But the reality, it's not debt at all. If you borrow and acquire that asset, you have $200,000 of, what do we call the difference between assets and liabilities? Equity. It is zero debt. The only time you have debt is when you owe more than what you have in the asset, not just because you owe. So people that think they need to get rid of all liabilities might cost themselves something. One is, we know there's destructive liabilities. Over-leveraging yourself, buying something you don't know how to monetize or create cash flow for. That house I bought in Las Vegas that didn't have cash flow, or the renters weren't going to pay very much because every third house was up for rent. That would be an example of a destructive liability. But there's productive liabilities, where that actually increases your cash flow for having that liability. So we want to manage liabilities, how they're structured, whether we pay cash, whether we finance. We want to manage it. It's not about eliminating it. We want to manage it where we're getting more cash than what we're paying, right? So sometimes it might make sense to borrow. So that's part of building your balance sheet. We want your revenue to also increase your net worth, not just increase your bragging rights.